Oh, hi there, and welcome back to Minecraft. You caught me lighting up a new area of the Hollow Mountain, ready for our next project. This episode is going to be all about villagers, but we don't have any villagers yet. In the last video, we found a village and we connected it to our base via the Nether. First thing we need to do is bring a couple of villagers over. Wait, is that... Awesome! We haven't found a spawner yet. That will come in very handy later on. Most people I see trying to transport villagers really complicate things and they use boats or water streams and such. I'm not about that. These guys have legs, they can walk, the lazy gits. As long as they don't have a job, they will follow a workstation to the ends of the earth. See this guy over here? He's keen. Let's lure him back through the portal. And now we have two. They can't stay in there forever though. We need to build a villager breeder. So going into this build, I wanted to focus more on making it fit in rather than making it the most efficient or the smallest villager breeder ever. I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm planning to make this whole area into a thriving village, maybe even a town, who knows. One thing at a time though. So let's talk about the inner workings of this bad boy. Villagers need two things in order to breed, a full belly and a bed. The farmer dude will take care of the feeding, he will harvest, replant and share the food with his friend, all by himself. And once the villagers are in place inside the farm part of the build, we are effectively locking them in using a trapdoor at the top of this block. The adults are too tall to squeeze through the tiny little gap, but they still think they can do it. It is important though that they still think they can make it to these beds over here, otherwise they won't breed. We need 1 bed per adult and a spare for a baby, so that's 3. The babies, on the other hand, are much smaller by comparison, and the space here is ginormous for them. They, however, are not very bright and will fall straight down this pit, thinking they can walk through a trapdoor. And as soon as they are down there, they are no longer able to pathfind to the bed, which again makes it free for the breeding process to begin all over again. So where do they go? Well, not far. This water stream gently and humanely encourages them to move into, well, let's call it a waiting room. From here, we can use a minecart to transfer them out one at a time as we need. And if we get too many villagers, we've added an on-off switch around the side of the house. Flicking this will activate a sticky piston over here, which essentially stops the adults from being able to pathfind to the bed and turns the whole process off. And I've used a fence instead of a door at the front of the house because I don't want any zombies breaking down the door and converting all the villagers. I almost forgot. I've named the villagers too, and will continue to name all the villagers and anything else I can think of. The names may be familiar to you. I've used the names of commenters in the previous videos of the series, so you know what you need to do if you want to see your name in the world. Okay, so the breeder's going to take some time to make us lots and lots of new villagers. While we wait, let's start working on auto food farms. Carrots, potatoes and beets. So yeah, we don't have enough villagers to do this yet, but that's fine. We can do the first farm and come back for the others later. I've still got more work planned for this area anyway, no problem. I've gone for a very simple design here, open farmland with a farmer villager inside and a second villager stationed outside behind a copper minecart that leads down into the chests. Not you, I want your dad, mate. That's right, back in you go. And that's one group complete. As you can see, we now have all the villagers in place for this part and it's slowly starting to work. The aim for these farms is not to produce food for eating, but rather for trading. By comparison though, this area is not as secure as a villager breeding farm, but I figured if something happens to these guys, they can be replaced more easily. It's cool. Plus, I'm hoping as we continue to build in the area, the overall light radius for these guys will increase, and by default it will become safer from mob spawns anyway. And I know the general area needs to be beautified, but I'm going to work on the buildings first, then come back and fill in the gaps a bit later on. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring it, I'm just prioritising. Plus, we still need to gather some more resources for the decoration before we do that anyway. Also, I'm out of name tags, so I'll have to name these guys later. I'm getting lots more soon though, as the next project is going to be a villager trading hall. We'll leave these guys working while we start the next project. Let's do this! Okay, so that's the start of it done. You'll notice that I'm opting for multiple buildings rather than one giant trading hall. The reason, well, if you haven't worked it out already, I'm trying to replicate a village of sorts up here. So far, we've got 3 buildings, all identical in size and shape, but with slight variations of orientation and height. That way, it feels more organic in the way that it was built. I haven't got any pathways in place because I want to focus on doing the buildings first, and once we've done that, we'll connect them all up with paths later. It is high on my list, though, once we've got a few villages in place. If we go inside, you can see that the buildings are all currently empty. When complete, we should be able to fit in 7 villagers in each house. So what we need to do is place 1 block here, then a space, then a block, then a space, then finally a block. The same on the other side, but it'll be inverted. So it's going to be space, block, space, block, space, block, space. Essentially, the villagers are going to stand in the spaces. They will then have the workstations in front of them and a trapdoor on top of the workstation. In front of all the blocks, we're going to put stairs just like this. That should stop any mobs from being able to reach the villagers. And the next part is getting the villagers in place. For this, we're going to need to run rails into each space and then out the doors. We'll temporarily replace the stairs outside with regular blocks so we can achieve this. And we're probably going to want to convert the villagers into zombies later, so we need to make sure that these guys can come back out when we need to. As you can see, we've now got a rail that goes all the way from the villager breeder to building 1 of the trading village. Should we test this out? Well, that's 1 guy in. Wicked. I think logs instead of planks works better. The way I do things, I don't really plan ahead. I just do it and then think, I like that or I don't like that, and then I change it. So, you know, deal with it. And we now have a full house. Obviously, once we've got the villagers in place, we need to just keep cycling through until we find a trade that we want. See, this one, I'm happy with that, so we're going to lock him in with a trade. We need to trade with this guy lots and lots until he's fully leveled up and see what else he's got to offer as a trade.
Right now, this guy's completely maxed out. As you can see, his rank is now Master. He has no experience bar, so he has no more trades to give us other than what he's got. But I'm so glad we did this, because he's got Infinity, he's got Multi-Shot, he's got Mending, and he's also got Name Tags and Glass. So, all in all, pretty good villager. And once he goes through the zombie purification process, then he's going to be cheap as chips too. We just need to do this about 1 billion more times, but I think we'll pick that up in the next video. Should we finish off with some cinematics of the build so far? Thanks for watching. Goodbye.